ClarkWoods.com. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 234. I'm Chris.
We're only at 234?
234.
When do we get to 250?
We will get to 250 in 16 weeks, provided we don't miss any.
So in 4 months.
4 months. So that would be...
the end of August.
End of August.
A little bit, around my birthday.
Around your birthday, a little while after our actual anniversary of our first show.
Yeah, because we did take 2 breaks this past year.
Yes, and in addition, was it just 2? Was there another little one? We've missed a week here or there.
I think we missed 1 week here or there, and then we did... We took a month off around this time last year. Yeah. And then we took more than 1 week off for my honeymoon.
That's true. We did. And we then when you came back, we had plenty of material. We talked all about it.
I mean, I only had to get Becky to write me notes.
If only I had...
Do you want me to go back to that before we talk about Portland?
No. I mean, what I was going to say is if only I had Stephanie to write me notes about Portland, but she was not there with me. So if we do finally discuss...
Yeah, but you're not an avid drinker, Chris. So it's not like you were like getting cocked every night.
But I am an old man with memory issues.
You have memory issues now?
I don't know. I'm feeling like I might. I'm feeling like, I have memory and I have issues with my temper.
What happened with your temper recently,
with
Chris?
My temper? Oh, I was just...
We're stepping right into Chris's therapy corner.
I don't know. Last week's therapy session was all about how angry I was. And just angry. Like angry hippos. That would be a game. I mean,
we were talking about like hippos at work, and so I just was like, well, just feed them some marbles. That's what they eat, right?
Yeah. I mean,
and it got like I keep on saying things like that. Like I've only been there for 6 months, and so like they. And I guess I'm deadpan enough that, they're not 100% sure that I'm kidding. And then I'm just talking about a fucking board game, a game. It's hardly on a board.
But that is one of those edge cases, like Mousetrap, right? Where
edge cases,
where it's not really a board game, but what the hell else would you call it?
I mean, what is it, like Trouble? Mm-hmm. Is all one piece,
right?
One piece, drink, and it has the Pop-O-Matic bubble,
right?
But that is more of a board game than Hungry Hungry Hippos, because it's sort of like you move your piece around the fucking thing.
But if I were lumping Hungry Hungry Hippos into a general category, board, if I'm
but Mousetrap actually does have a board. You have to set that shit up on the board.
Hungry Hungry Hippos has a board.
No, it's not a board. It's just like a plastic thing, which is why I was comparing it more to Trouble.
Listen. I'm going to guarantee you, if you go and you get a Hungry Hungry Hippos box out of your local Target and you bring it home and you have to put the thing together, the first thing you're going to put down is a piece of cardboard, a board, and then you're going to put the plastic shit on top of the cardboard. The cardboard's probably going to have some kind of slickness to it to facilitate the marbles going all around. It's got a board.
I think it's all plastic, and I'm not going to put money on this by buying one.
Okay. Well, I don't think I will either.
Anybody out there in like we'll start off with trying to get some fucking listener feedback right out of the gate.
Right out the gate.
Hot at ClarkWoods.com. If you have Hungry Hungry Hippos in your household,
right?
Let us know. Is there a board? To the fucking game.
That would be great. So while you're at it, hot at clarkwoods.com, are My Little Ponies action figures?
No.
So what defines an action figure, right? So
I think it's action.
Okay. But at one point...
Does the figure have like opposable...
arms or limbs or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the way you're playing with the My Little Pony is to go do, and I'm just kind of like moving my hand up and down,
right?
It's clomping along.
Yeah.
You can't move their legs.
Okay.
So I think it's more of an inaction figure, like the ones I have over there, like the Bob and Doug figures.
Yeah.
They have movable arms, but I would not say that they're action figures because they're not really doing anything besides sitting around cooking back bacon and drinking beer.
But. So what does that make them if they're not action figures?
Inaction figures.
Inaction. Okay, all right. So Barbie Action figure, in action figure.
I'd say she was an action figure because she has she can move her legs around.
Because she gets some action?
She might.
It seems to me, having watched Barbie Life in the Dream House, that Barbie could have gotten...
Why have you seen... It was just
I
with your daughters?
Children, yes.
Yeah, but you don't have to watch the shit that they're watching.
No, so I don't think they've called it the same thing. There was, and I've probably talked about this before, I'm sorry, there was a Barbie series. It was, I don't know if it was on Netflix or YouTube or where it was. It was a series of shorts that were completely self-aware and tongue-in-cheek. So they were very, very funny. And I would watch those with the girls.
All right. So that was the series?
That was the series. Barbie Life in the Dream House.
Was it like a faux reality show or something like that? All right.
It was a faux reality show. They would talk to the camera. They would get into all sorts of adventures. Ken was always trying to be too helpful. There was another dude.
Fucking Ken, always being so helpful.
And here's what I think, is that I think that Barbie could have gotten some action from either Ken or the other dude.
What was the other... Does the other dude
have
a name?
The other dude was... so they portrayed Ken in this show as a blonde. The other dude was a brunette. He seemed a little bit more together than Ken. I also think there was some frenemy stuff going on with some of the girls, and I feel like Barbie and one of the ladies could have gotten some action. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you should be thinking about a show that your daughters are watching. There's any sort of sexuality in there.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, at some point, we would have to ask people who, I was going to say the ladies, but I'm not going to assume. Maybe there are some fellows, some non-binary folk out there who had Barbies. We would have to ask people who had Barbies if at some point during their sexual exploration phase, if they ever had two Barbies have some scissor sex. I would be willing to bet it has happened at least once.
Yes, but that's a child figuring shit out, not you sexualizing a fucking cartoon show.
I'm not sexualizing a cartoon show. I'm saying that if Barbie were a real person, or if I guess let's just stop talking about it.
Okay, cool.
So
all I have to do is just make a really good point, and it'll get you to stop talking about something.
That not always. This is new.
Oh, this is new?
This is new, right?
This is new.
Usually you have to make 2 or 3 good points, and I still don't stop. So, me listening to reason and getting the hint, this is new. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf.
So you're just angry, and you're angry about watching Barbie shows.
No, I mean, well, I am angry that they took that, and they have a very similarly named show right now that I saw that my kids were watching, and I walked in, I was like, oh, this is like that old show that I liked, and it's not at all like the old show that I liked. It is just, it's not self-aware, it's not funny. Barbie has parents in it.
Yeah, I mean, fuck that then.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't want to hear about Barbie's folks. Are there, did they make Barbie's parents dolls?
No, I don't think they do. Canonically, I don't think Barbie has parents. Barbie has sisters. Now, the Life in the Dream House that I liked had Barbie
and right back in, Chris,
and her sisters. I'm not going back to the sexual stuff. The Barbie Life in the Dream House that I liked had Barbie and her 3 younger sisters lived with her, and I imagine there were parents, but that was
Skipper one of them.
Skipper was there, and Chelsea, and oh my gosh, what's the I don't remember the other one. Skipper and Chelsea
and Hillary
and yes,
lock her up.
Anyway, so they lived together. Barbie was in charge. So Barbie was the adult.
Of your days and your nights?
Yes. And I was angry.
I want Charles in charge of me.
Oh God. I don't want that. Can that man just be dead?
I'm not going to wish death on people, as much as I despise them. Even the fellow we try not to name on the show.
Well, we're not allowed to wish death on him, or we might get
But even though I would rather him just be humiliated for the rest of his days.
Okay. Well,
a lengthy amount of days.
You don't want to possibly suggest that you would like his days to be,
Nope.
Yeah.
I want them to be very lengthy and full of the worst possible things that can legally happen to him.
Okay. Hey, Steve, not that I want to get away from talking about my anger or Barbie or any of that, but I guess we were supposed to talk about spoilers this week.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that we could jam it all into one, like,
because go ahead.
Really big show, and just be like right out of the gate, say, don't listen to this fucking one unless you've seen these two things.
Right, and those two things in this case would have been Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
and
just because we did I don't want to make you fucking be like, well, go to time code fucking 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Anything after that is like off the table. Just like right out of the gate, like. Horribly off topic. Don't listen to this one if you haven't seen fucking Endgame or Game of Thrones season 8, episode 3.
Well, that'll be our episode title when we finally get around to it at Endgame of Thrones.
Oh no,
maybe not. But so
someone's already done it. So let's.
I didn't. Has somebody?
Probably.
I don't know because not to get horribly off topic. But I have part of why I got so angry last week had to do with social media, and so I'm on a social media break. So I have no idea what's going on with anything.
I was wondering why I haven't seen any of your weird like boob drawings lately.
That's why.
I never I'm basically just like a lurker on social media. I just see what people are up to. I occasionally like something, and I very rarely post anything.
I'm an addict, and so
it's cool. I feel alive.
I'm not an addict.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, I have no, and this has turned out to be a good thing, I'm guessing, because to get back to why we're not doing the spoiler thing this week, I am a week behind on.
And you have a week behind.
I gotta write that. I am a week behind, and
that is way too long.
No, but there's the description.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm a week behind on Game of Thrones.
This is fucking like you can't do this anymore, Chris. Like,
I don't know how.
This is like what this is like going back to days of yore when you had to watch shows when they were on. This is like this season of Game of Thrones is that you can't fucking like because like when I got to work today, like we had our little huddle in the morning and basically the first thing was like you watched it, right?
I got to work today and there was nobody there.
I get to work before people get there, but when we had our huddle,
there wasn't anybody in my part of the office until 11:30.
And they didn't care.
And at that point
we're all academics. We don't need to watch Game of Thrones.
There are a lot of people in the office who I know who do watch it, but it just so happened that I was involved.
I'm waiting for George R. Martin to die and someone else to write the fucking rest of the fucking books.
They can get the guy who did the Robert Jordan ones.
Yeah,
apparently he did an all right job.
According to John, I think yes, and I think Gina read them too. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gather, and Stephanie is working her way.
Is that the new Apple product?
The I gather.
Yeah.
It might be. I have completely unsubscribed from all of my Apple news sites and Apple podcasts and whatever, so I have no idea what's going on there either.
Why are you mad at them now?
I'm not mad at them. It was a few months ago I said, what do I want more of in my life and what do I want less of in my life?
What I need.
And what I want less of is people who make me unhappy about the things I choose to use. And so a lot of Apple culture is... people being mad at Apple. And I'm like, you know what? some of the stuff may suck. I don't really care. I just want to focus on what I'm doing. I don't want to focus on the technology anymore because the technology is fucking stupid, and I don't care. So yeah, I need less things to obsess over, and that has led me, as we said.
Is this something you talked to the therapist about, or is this something you're just doing independently?
We've probably talked about it. I mean, I have talked with her about cutting things out, and she has been the voice of reason of saying, look, like, you don't have to cut everything out. And so, yeah. So I'm sure I've talked with her about it a little bit. Anyway, I'm a week behind Game of Thrones. And I was almost 2 weeks behind because I didn't watch the previous week's episode until last night.
Which was basically everyone hanging out.
It was everyone hanging
the
out.
Episode.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. I like an everyone hanging out.
I mean, this is a spoiler, but fuck you if you haven't like seen the memes on fucking, but like, you know, fucking Tormund and his giant's milk.
Yes. I like a hanging out episode. You know, I keep waiting, and you have now told it's. I don't think
still waiting. I'm just like a song machine, and I won't like work for nobody but you.
There's so many of them coming at me. I can't keep track. The what I kept waiting for. So last night's was the third episode of the fourth. Third.
But it was an hour and a half long.
Okay, so that's what I kept waiting for. So I had heard that they were going to be longer, and the first two episodes of the season were not. The first two episodes of the season both turned out to be an hour, and or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I was like, well, what the hell's happening? Are they actually going to do like another season and they just haven't told anybody? Like, I don't know.
No, so the rest of the episodes, I from what I gather, are going to be an hour and a half long each.
Okay, got it. All right. So they're like a romantic comedy.
Sure.
Romantic comedies are like an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's any comedy.
Yeah. Well, and dramas are 2 hours.
Well, the reason why comedies tend to be shorter
is because you can't be funny for extended periods of time.
No, it's just at a certain point, like, people don't want to laugh anymore.
Gotcha.
So that's why if you go to like a stand-up show, you'll have like an opener doing like maybe 5, 10, like max 15.
Right.
And then there'll be a middle act, which will do maybe 20. And then like the headliner will do it like an hour or something like that. But they don't want to go over that 90-minute threshold.
Right.
Because at that point, you're just fucking sick of laughing.
Okay.
Fucking sick of laughing. Sick of laughing? How about that?
Sick of laughing. No. So, am I going to laugh at this week's episode of Game of Thrones when I get to it? No, I'm just kidding. Don't tell me.
I don't know, actually.
I had heard... I mean, I don't want to wait as long as I waited this time.
Yeah, how about watching it when you get home tonight?
I have to edit... Well, I have to put the show out. I have to get the kids to bed, and I have to set up the next big render of my... I'm redoing all the book covers, and a lot of them are done in a 3D graphics program, which needs to run overnight because my computer is not a PC with a gigantic video card.
Well, let's talk about that for another hour.
No, I would like to, but I
wouldn't. I was just joking.
No. Sorry.
Please laugh at it for 90 minutes.
I would like to watch the episode that I was supposed to watch. I would like to watch this episode of Game of Thrones that was on last night, especially after seeing your reaction and Becky's reaction when I said that I hadn't seen it, and that I could just tell that you were dying to talk about it. And,
right.
And how could anybody not have seen it? And
yeah, I mean, like everybody every single one of our listeners that has seen it and wanted us to talk about it is now fucking rip shit at you.
I'm sorry,
and I'm right there with them.
It is all my fault. I don't know how to manage my.
Don't
life.
I sound rip shit?
I don't know how to manage it. I went and saw the end game, which we're also not talking about because we're going to talk about it all together. But I saw the end game twice, and both of those times were enjoyable. But the times around going to see that were filled with me being just angry and bitter at the whole world. And
okay, well, let's
so
take a deep dive into angry bitter Chris. Why was I mean I know that Becky was angry at the theater, like when we went.
Oh.
She has had bad luck with the theaters lately.
Yeah.
And we went there, and she went to go get a couple of drinks for us, and we just wanted soda water.
Yeah.
And so she just got a couple of fountain drinks, and with the expectation that she would go over to the fountain.
Yeah.
And push the little button that's next to the Sierra Mist because it's Pepsi. Is Pepsi okay? Apparently not, because they don't have fucking soda water.
They don't. None at all. They can't just give.
They can't just. You can't just push the teeny button next to the Sierra Mist, or like what would normally be if it was Coke products.
It would be the Sprite, yeah.
You push that little button, and then bubbly water comes out, and that's just what we fucking wanted. But they didn't have it, so she's like, okay, and she goes back up to the guy, and she's like, hey, can you get me some soda water or something like that?
Yeah,
like maybe from the bar or whatever. And the guy's like, we have soda water. She's like, yeah, well, that's what I want, and I have these cups which I can't fill with soda water because you won't let me over there.
Right.
So can I trade them? And he's like, well, you'd have to get in the line again. And she was ready to murder.
Oh, Jesus. Do you know, I assume.
And so she was just like, well, can we just go over to the bar and just fucking go with the fucking spray? Like, cause I know I've gotten a vodka soda here before. I know you have it.
But they said no.
They were like, no. So she filled up. We spent it was probably like $6 a piece. So $6 waters.
Oh my God.
$6 tap water.
No, I don't. I imagine you don't want to name the place and
no, I'm not. Well, I would like.
Was it? No, I can't even ask that because I think you've named.
It was not well, it's a very small local chain, and I'm gonna say their name so to tell people to not go there.
Okay.
Because fuck them, like that's bullshit. Like
so
they've been open for over a year, and this was the first showing of the day, so it's not like we were like. We came in and they were just constant. They were swamped for fucking hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
This was the first. This was 10:30 in the fucking morning.
Right.
And so we go in there and you can't fucking like do us a solid and fill up a cup with fucking soda water.
So what was what chain is it?
It was O'Neill's in Littleton.
Yep.
Like
okay.
Just fuck them. Like I will go. I mean, we normally like to go to the one here in Maynard, but like the last time we went to a very crowded movie there was the guy just hacking up lungs on the back of Becky's head.
Right.
And she didn't appreciate that. So
yeah,
the next time we go to there, we'll go there when it's not a fucking blockbuster and we can sit, not near people.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a bummer. Yeah. Okay. So what I was going to ask you is,
but that's not because that guy coughing on her wasn't like a result of ineptitude of the staff. And like you could say, oh, they're a young staff. The people at the Maynard Theater are a young staff, and they're very nice and professional.
Right.
And like you can't fucking blame it on young people. Yeah, like young people are good one place and bad another place. You've picked bad young people.
I think that is absolutely true. I wonder if
that was me being anti-ageist, which I am usually very against.
I wonder if you end up with a better quality or more interested quality of young person at a local theater like that.
But they're both local.
Well, but you're talking. Not even a chain. You're talking the one in Maynard, right, is like a house of movie, like an old movie theater. Or
right.
Right? So that kind of thing, it feels to me, is more likely to attract, and if certainly it's just going to attract kids who are local, right, because it's closer. But it might also be attracting people who like movies, right? Whereas the one in Littleton is in a plaza that's full, it's got a market basket and
full of fuckery,
right? And so it's just another option
I mean, like I could work at Moe's, or I could work at fucking Market Basket, or I could work at fucking PetSmart or Pet City,
or I can go work at the movie theater. You know, and it's just kind of like which one of them takes my application, right? Like, and whereas if you're working at a small, and maybe this is just the romantic in me, it's like you're working at a small, not chain local movie theater. You work there, you kind of like movies. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they do the doo-doo.
They do the. Well, I would hope that they are.
They have the classic movie nights as well as, you know, whatever blockbuster shit is happening, and they sometimes will have a more artsy, like you know, this time of year not so much, usually in the winter months when the blockbusters are slim pickings,
right?
You know, to quote. Mike and Jay, fuck you, it's January.
I think you have quoted that before. It's still pretty funny. I don't think we had anything to say about our movie theater experience. I mean, we'll save. Can we?
Which ones did you go to Lowell?
So yes, I went both times.
We're getting very. We haven't said this in a while. We haven't gotten local for you in a bit. So
I went to Lowell both times because the day that the tickets went on sale, the internet was fucked. Like Fandango, AMC could not handle the traffic, and so AMC is usually where I go because I'll usually go to either the AMC in Somerville, which has a nice IMAX screen, or if I'm going to be working from home that day, I'll go to the AMC in Methuen, which has a nice IMAX screen. But I could not get, I for once in my life was not living by the schedule of like when Marvel was going to release something. And so it was later into the morning when I went, oh shit, the tickets came out today. And by the time I realized that, I could not get on AMC's site, and the only place I could get tickets was Lowell.
We were. I was looking because like with the neck coffer, we wanted to go to some place that had the cushy seats and whatnot. Right. So that's why we chose that, and we're like, we'll go in the morning.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they want people to come out, and yet they do certain things, and then they just don't try hard in other places.
Then just getting our food and getting home, because afterwards like we were fucking starving. I had eaten like a small like bowl of my little keto cereal, but she didn't have any breakfast, so she was fucking ready to fucking have some lunch.
Yeah.
And like we went to Chipotle, and I think it was just because she was just so hungry. She just got it to go, and then we were driving home, and then we're halfway home, and I'm like, we could have ate it there, and she was like, I know, but she was just like, everybody on the fucking road was just fucking dipshits,
right?
And it was just like it was just compounding on. Like luckily, you know, everybody came over for D&D that night,
right?
And we had a good time, and everything everything worked out for the best. But like if you would run into Becky like right before she ate her Chipotle, she would have, and you had said anything that was even remotely aggravating to her,
oh boy,
she would have just probably like just clobbered you.
You know, and I'm
surprised I didn't get clobbered.
Well, you know, because she loves you.
She does. Yeah. Like she tolerates my my flatulence. My verbal flatulence as well as my butt flatulence. As well as your butt
flatulence. Yeah, no, I think the only movie theater thing, and this is
don't make that a show title, because we did have that as a show title.
What?
She tolerates my flatulence.
Oh yeah, no. Okay. I've got Angry Hippos. I mean, that's. The only movie theater thing that I can think of is, and this is a long-standing issue, is we will try to, in an effort not to spend $50 at the fucking movie theater concession stand on the four of us, which we never managed to do.
We should have just pocketed a couple of soda waters. I mean, like in retrospect, we bungled a bit.
Yeah.
And that was on both of us. I could have just stuffed a couple of sodas in my pockets and looked like, you know, very thick,
very well endowed gentleman,
thick peni stacked together.
Yeah. Well, you could have, but you didn't.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
we should have.
Yeah. You would have made the other ladies jealous, right? You know,
what other, like, they were just like in this dark theater, like,
no, I mean on your way in, right? You're walking in there with
check out my fake dick.
Yeah, with Becky on your arm, and you got some cans stuffed in your pants, and looking like she won the lottery. If you like big dicks, you know.
The big dick lottery.
The big dick lottery. When we go to the movies,
I don't think women are just like constantly staring at dicks, Chris.
I didn't mean to imply it. That's why I said if you like big dicks. You know, right. It's not like there's a Sir Mix-a-Lot, a female Sir Mix-a-Lot going, I like big dicks and I cannot lie. Yeah, I understand.
I mean, there could also be a male Sir Mix-a-Lot saying he also likes dicks.
Yeah. Well, but that, I mean, the male...
Don't be heteronormative, Chris.
But the male Sir Mix-a-Lot that exists...
Yeah, but there could be Sir Mix-a-Lot Part 2.
Yeah,
like,
I guess there were 2 Dr. Dre's. There was Dr. Dre... like Dre, who's still Dre, you know, don't forget about him.
I didn't.
But then there was Dr. Dre, who was the co-host of Yo MTV Raps.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So I guess there could be another Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I forgot about that Dre.
Who likes who likes who likes. I'm trying to think of a way in my head how to make Steve forgot about that Dre into a description. No, there could be another Sir Mix-a-Lot who likes big dicks and cannot lie. But I was just trying to make the point that the existing Sir Mix-a-Lot, who doesn't seem like
he likes
overly,
butts. He might have liked Captain America's butt.
Spoilers.
What, his butt's in the movie. Sorry,
his butt is in the movie, and there's a joke about his butt.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I recognize that not everybody who likes dicks likes big dicks. I was not meaning to imply that they did.
Okay.
What was I talking about? Oh, I was trying to talk. You shared your movie theater experience,
and you were trying to share yours, and I kept on interrupting.
Well,
I apologize.
It happens. So I was.
This is your punishment.
For not watching Game of Thrones.
Did I pop my peas?
Well, that's why we got the little windscreens on there. Yeah, that was all right. That wasn't. I mean, it did a little. You can tell there was a plosive there, but you know, not
a plosive.
Plosive, yeah. You want to do it again?
No.
When we go to the movie theater, that's the point where you're supposed to interrupt me again, because it's fun.
We don't like spending $50 at the concessions.
When we go to the movie theater, you know, it's typical. So we'll try to reduce it. Typically, there'll be one thing of popcorn, which at this point, even though Kaylee loves...
You can't do the fun gag because it's your kids are there. So
right, yeah, no. But so there's one thing of popcorn. Kaylee can't eat the popcorn right now because she's got braces. So the
dental plan.
Yeah, there's the one thing of popcorn getting passed between the 4 of us, and that's okay. But usually Stephanie and I get one drink to share. And that doesn't work out so well because most of the time, the 2 girls need to be in the middle. And so Stephanie's all the way to my left, and I'm all the way to her right. And if I ever want the drink, I have to tap one daughter, who taps the other daughter, who taps Stephanie to send the drink over my way. Now, for whatever reason, she's better about sending the popcorn our way. I think because it has to get to Melody, right? So Melody usually sits next to me. She can still eat popcorn. So if the popcorn makes it to her, she, being a good daughter, will pass it to me before she passes it back.
The popcorn is making me thirsty.
But yeah. So when we went and saw the movie Saturday, we went and saw the movie on Saturday as a family, and we bought a drink. I didn't have one sip of it. So Stephanie had the drink over by her the entire time. And this was good because unlike the first time I saw the film, I did not have to get up to go to the bathroom at all because I had stopped drinking liquids before seeing the movie, and
were you super dehydrated afterwards?
I was very parched. Yeah.
Just like, let me just like put my head up to the fucking soda fountain.
Yeah, but if they would let me, they have no, they don't. No, that we were in Lowell, so they do not have the Coca-Cola Freestyle.
Yeah. So you just had to get it from
employees.
Get it from which would have been fine because they probably could have gotten you soda water if you wanted it.
They probably could have. It took them a very long time to get me 2 pretzels. And
I mean, it is hard to get the little tongs to grab a pretzel.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like they heated them up from scratch or something because they came over. They were very hot, and apparently the pretzel nuggets would have taken 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
So they do. Lowell not prepared. Whereas you go to Lowell is a showcase cinema, which is mostly local. I don't know if they're outside.
I think they're outside of New England. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've definitely shrunk. There are some.
Yeah, they're not like soda can penises.
Yeah, no. There's some shrinkage going on with the.
There's some like festival wizard micro penis going on.
Mm-hmm. So we can't talk about the movie.
You're just like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was this video that Mike showed me back in the day, of this
festival wizard.
This guy that was like, I think he was sort of dressed up like a wizard, and he was at like one of those drug kind,
like a Harry Potter wizard or a Doctor Strange wizard.
More like a Merlin wizard.
Oh, okay. No.
And he was it was one of those drug addled festivals, where people do drugs and listen to.
Oh yeah. Isn't that all festivals?
Like jam bands and whatnot.
Okay. I thought it was kind of drugs were the only way you could actually stand to go to a festival.
I think so, because I think
I
don't think I've ever been to like one of those the big ones, but like music festivals that I've been to, the ones that I really liked were the one I think I went to Horde back in '97, the Horde tour, and I think a lot of the artists that were there, which Ween being one of them, were bands that I was digging on seeing, and we went to Lollapalooza I think a little bit later that year, and there was less artists that I enjoyed, so therefore it was just kind of it was just like, when is this fucking gonna be over?
That's like when we go to the Ren Fair that my sister-in-law likes to take us to.
Not King Richard's Fair, another one.
No, a very, very small by comparison. I've never been to King Richard's, but I understand how big I understand it to be big.
I'm surprised because John and I think your dad took John and I.
Yeah, I don't know why I never. There were a couple of times
this was I
almost went, but yeah.
This was I think early high school, so I think you might have still been in high school.
Yeah, but
I think it might have been freshman year or something like that.
Yeah, never went. But this one I know to be much smaller. I'm so bored. Stephanie, her sister's way into it. Stephanie's into it because her sister and our kids and my nephew are all into it, and I'm just sort of.
What I mean, you don't. Well, you're not drinking. Yeah.
Well, I'm not drinking. No. It was like this way of going to Harry Potter Land as well. That when we went into the pubs in Harry Potter Land, which I know is not what it's called. It's called the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. There were turkey legs and other things that felt like it was a Ren Fair in a facsimile of a British pub, and the food doesn't do anything for me at these places.
You don't drink yards of beer?
No, yeah, I'm not that into fantasy as a thing.
That was the thing that bummed me out the last time I went to King Richard's Fair. Is they didn't have yards of beer anymore, and I remember drinking fuck tons of them.
Interesting. Why did they stop? Do you know? People got too drunk.
Yeah. You think?
Well, it's possible. Maybe they just decided they were. I don't know. Yeah, that's a bummer. Some people spoiling it.
It's a bummer, man. I mean, I didn't spoil it. I was watching the joust. Do they have a joust at the one that you go to?
No, I don't think it's big enough to
they have a joust, they have just shows all over the place. So if you wanted to go and check out the fucking Goon A and Goon B doing their fucking comedy show, you could go see that. Yeah. And if the kids wanted to see something fucking else, they could go with your wife and
Where did I hear that? This was something. This is not my own original idea. I heard this somewhere. It was probably on Dubai Friday, and they were. Which podcast I listened to, and they were talking about theme parks that weren't really about rides that were more about the world, and so wanting to have places where it was. Because they were talking about how in California, especially, you'll have a bunch of kids who are super into Harry Potter get dressed up in their Harry Potter gear, and they have annual passes, and they'll go to Hogwarts in Universal Studios, and they'll just hang out, and they'll do their homework, and they're like, and I think that's a little nuts. But I mean, I guess if they have the annual passes, go for it. But so what came out of that was this notion that you should have places that are kind of a public space where you can go and just be enveloped in the world that you like. So for you, it would probably be One Piece.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I would definitely, like, if, I went to Japan, I'd go to Tokyo Tower because they have, which is basically Eiffel Tower in Japan. Mm-hmm. And I would go there. They have like a big One Piece exhibit thing with a bunch of fucking games. Your brother went to it when he was there, and he brought me some swag back.
Yeah.
So like, I dig that, and like, but there would be like some like more low key shit because there's like a bar that one of the voice actors from the series owns in like the greater Tokyo area, and he's I think fluent in English. So if you go there, you can fucking hang out and talk with one of the voice actors and just get loaded and drink with them.
Yeah, and see, like that, I would love a whereas I'm not that into fantasy. If you could give me a Marvel land, which Universal Studios has and is terrible. But if you could give me a Marvel land that wasn't even so much about rides, but it was just about being in that universe, that'd be great. I liked just walking around the Harry Potter part of that park. I liked the rides, but I loved just being there. And so we're planning as a family a trip to Orlando a year from now. And the Star Wars land called Galaxy's Edge will be open. And I'm not that worried about it.
That's when you're about to come watching Star Wars.
Yeah. See, not everything can be a description. You got good ones today. I want to applaud you. That's...
I think when I'm cranky at you, I think I'm extra funny.
So I just want to go and spend a decent amount of time walking around that place. I know the rides for the lines, the lines for the rides are gonna be just ridiculous. Hopefully we'll have planned it out. I am concerned that we will just rush through, and I don't want to do that. I just want to be part of it. So I like this notion of it would be great to have just, places where you could just go and enjoy the stuff. Ren fairs do it, right? But there's no equivalent aside from like a comic book show. And that's not even that much of an
like
equivalent.
a PAX East or something like that.
Yeah, a comic book show, video game show. Like there's nothing, Anime Boston, I guess was last
weekend.
Yeah.
I think that I would want I very quickly put it out of my mind that I would want to go to an anime convention just because I don't really give that much shit about anime. I was a big fan of Ranma growing up, Cowboy Bebop, and I watch One Piece, and I've been watching, even though it's so the scale of the episodes is so frighteningly minuscule in comparison to One Piece. I've been slowly watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I think the reason why I haven't been consuming it as quickly because Becky doesn't dig it as much. In fact, I don't think she likes it at all. No. Which is so I only watch it. If I remember, I only watch it when she's not around.
Got it. Are there, that makes me think of something. Are there shows, because this has come up for me in recent days, are there shows that Becky likes to watch that you can't stand? I mean, and I'm not asking you to out yourself. Hopefully this was just be things that she already knows.
I don't dislike it, but so we were talking about it before you showed up.
Yeah.
Because she watched her show Jane the Virgin today, and she's like, we can watch it again. I'm like, no, that's fine. Just tell me what happened. Because I'll watch it if I'll watch it with her.
Okay, but
usually I'll play a game or whatever, and
there's no hatred there.
No, I don't hate it at all. I mean, I find it actually kind of funny.
Yeah,
but it's not something that I'm invested in.
Stephanie has.
Well, I guess I am because I kind of wanted to know what happened.
You wanted to know what happened, yeah.
But like not so much that I needed to see it.
Stephanie has started watching again. She had watched it in the past, and I don't know if she's going through the whole series again, or just watching the new ones. What the hell is it? Oh, The New Girl, or just New Girl.
New Girl is great.
Which I find to just be just grating. And just painful. I think part of why I've been so angry is like she's had that on every moment she's home.
Why don't you like New Girl?
Oh my god, the characters are all reprehensible assholes. And they just are always yelling at each other.
So it's just just don't. Everybody needs to be nice and nice to each other.
Well, the first thing is that typically, and you've been to where I live. I was gonna say my house, but it's not
in the middle of your street.
My office, such as it is, which is not really an office, my desk
is a corridor.
Is a corridor sandwiched between three of usually at all times three of the loudest rooms in the house. So typically on a typical Saturday or Sunday or even Friday, I'm trying to sit at my desk and get something done. Sometimes I put headphones in and it doesn't matter. Stephanie will be watching New Girl with everybody yelling at each other. My kids will be watching two different, so that's in front of me. My kids will be watching two different YouTube videos in the room behind me, both of them blaring to drown out the other one. And then often down the stairs, my dad is blaring something as well. So I've got 3 or 4 different things all at full volume over the sound of my fucking headphones as I'm just trying to concentrate and get some writing done or some illustration of my booby illustrations done.
Can you just go to the library? It's not very far.
Why should I have to go to the library?
Because of what you just said to me.
But what I'm saying, I don't want to have to leave. Why do I have to leave? They're always saying you're not around. Why am I not around? Because I always have to fucking leave to have my own space.
Then you're making your own point, Chris.
Yes, I'm making my own. They are like, we would love you to be around more. Okay, I would love to be around more if you didn't watch annoying fucking shows like New Girl. Like,
it's not an annoying show, Chris. It's only annoying because of the circumstances surrounding it.
I was done working last night, and I just wanted to sit down next to her. It was our anniversary. I just wanted to sit down. She was watching fucking New Girl all goddamn day, and I don't get it. I don't see anything interesting.
Did you bring this up? Did you talk about that? Just say, can we watch something else?
I'm not gonna say, can I watch something else? Because
can we watch something else together on our anniversary?
She's trying to get work done, and that helps her get work done. So I'm not, my whole thing for her this past weekend, going into this week, and this is part of probably why I was so angry and tense, was I knew that she was feeling very tense about the amount of work she had to do. So starting with Thursday, when I stayed home and worked from home, I started doing laundry and tried to do as many chores and whatever to basically set her up for as easy a weekend as I could. And so that was my MO. Maybe it's not the most romantic thing, but she was super stressed, and going into our anniversary, she wasn't stressed. So I consider that mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished that one of you is miserable.
Yeah. I'm
hoping
anyway.
that like at a certain point, like, you know, when our anniversaries start coming up, that like, you know, what we're going to be doing is trying to make it so we're both like happy, like not that one person is miserable and that's a win.
Well, we tried, and the problem is when one of the people in the relationship is me, and I'm just in a bad place and I'm miserable, it's not going to happen.
So you might as well just make yourself more miserable.
Well, I wasn't making myself more miserable at a certain point, and obviously not early enough, because I At a certain point, I did stop working. I went I went under my covers with my iPhone because my computer was busy doing something. I put on my headphones and I watched last week's Game of Thrones
Like on your phone.
on my phone. Stephanie had the big TV in that room. My computer was too busy doing anything to watch anything. My kids were downstairs in the family room watching something.
I'm just saying, you need a win, Chris.
How?
You need a win at home.
I don't have a win at home.
That's like I'm saying that's what you need because you're this is why you're so angry because you go home, a place where you're supposed to be like, this is a place that I want to be. I was at work all day, now I'm at home and I'm not stressed. Just, you need a win, Chris.
Right.
Just like, I'm not saying like, ultimatums or anything like that, but just have some conversations.
Wow.
Maybe, and just be like, you know what? I really like, I'm really digging on watching Game of Thrones tonight. Can I have a little bit of quiet time? I'll watch it with my headphones on the iPad or whatever. And just, I'm not saying be unreasonable. I'm just saying, just be like, I need a little Chris time.
Right. Game of Thrones would be easier if she also watched Game of Thrones. But I remember she tried it, watched the first couple of episodes and just couldn't get into it. So, yeah. So Game of Thrones is just a me thing. And in fact, that has happened with many TV shows because she watches TV at a different pace than I do. She will sit there and binge watch as most of America does, right? And I am lucky if I sneak one episode of anything in every month. Like I'm halfway through a half dozen TV shows on Netflix that I really enjoy, but I just don't have the time. And so I'll introduce her to a show. We'll watch one episode together. And then by the next time I'm ready to watch an episode, she has finished the series.
Yeah. Like when John and I started watching One Piece together. And then I was like, now I have a computer. So I'll watch some episodes and let me know which one you're on. And then I'll catch up. And then so... Yeah, I think we were around episode 50 something at that point, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm at episode 115." I'm like, "How did you How did you watch that many episodes of fucking One Piece in the it was a week?"
Yeah, I mean the other thing, and we've talked about this before. Steph can do other things while she's watching something, and I can't.
Well, One Piece is it's more you have to actually watch it because it's subtitled.
Right, yeah. So yeah, it would be. I mean, I'm sure when I go home tonight, New Girl will be on again, and it will be on until she's ready to go to bed.
It's Jess.
Oh my god, so fucking annoying. And I like Zooey Deschanel. Like I think she's very talented. I have liked a lot of the stuff I've seen her in, but the dudes. And her, like I don't like her I don't like any of the characters. Like and they're always yelling. It just feels like it's always so damn loud.
So you're like you're just the Grinch. The noise. Yeah, you should just go up in a cave, get yourself a dog.
But every time I tell them that I'm going to go off in a cave, they're like, "No, Daddy, we want you to stay. You're the best, Daddy. We don't want you to leave."
All right, well, just be like, hey, let's do something together then. Let's put the iPads away. We'll play a fucking Hungry Hippos.
Which we did have at one point. I don't think we have it anymore.
Or we'll play a not Monopoly board game.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with Monopoly. I'm more of a Clue person. I like Clue.
Yeah, get the fam together, play some Clue, figure out who murdered somebody.
Yeah, there's other we have stumbled across some board games that we really like. The trouble there is that the kids will get really into a board game that is that I don't know. I feel like all the.
What?
Has this whole episode just been Chris's therapy corner?
Yes, and just finish what your thought was.
I don't want to cry,
Why are you gonna cry?
No,
I'm trying not. I don't want to make you cry.
No, but they'll be so they'll want to play a game, right? Their uncle Alex, my brother-in-law, he is a board game person, and so he'll come to most family events with a new board game, and people will try to explain it to me, and I just can't. Like, my brain doesn't want to. I don't know. My brain can't handle it. And then it'll turn out it's not that complicated, and it was really fun. But a lot of the time, I just completely bow out because I just can't handle being the rules. Like,
I get that to a certain extent. It's not the rules so much as like I get annoyed by the game at a certain point.
Yeah. Well, there are a couple of them that we've been introduced to that.
We played one that was basically you take like the Cards Against Humanity cards and you draw a picture of it and then you pass it over to the next person. They have to write what you drew, and then the next person after that draws what they wrote.
Okay.
And then the next person after that writes.
That's like
a sentence or basically what that person drew, and then I think the last thing is is draw a picture of what that statement is.
It's like it has some relation to the Exquisite Corpse, which was a game the Surrealists played, which is where the title of my next novel comes from, where somebody would write.
Your next novel? How many other novels do you have, Chris?
Well, I have that's the one. I have other ones in progress, but they're in conception. But.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, how many existing novels I have?
I gave you here's a softball, Chris. You whiffed. Oh, that's all right. Maybe. How about another one?
I got a novel, a novella, 3 short story collections, and a poetry collection.
What are they called?
Oh, everyone who's listening to this says no. You know what? That is not true. Let me tell you something. Not true. So I was doing a. They are called, and then I'll tell you why it's not true. So Those Little Bastards, All He Left Behind, and Out of the Woods are the short story collections. Bad Poetry Night is the poetry collection. The novel is Missing Mr. Wingfield, and the novella, so a short, itty-bitty novel, is The Seven Wives of Silver.
Okay.
And the next one's called Exquisite Corpse. Now, here's where it's not true.
And the people that you met in Portland that might be listening to the show?
Oh, yeah. One of these days I should talk about Portland.
Yeah. We'll get to it eventually.
God. I'm working with this. I'm part of this business course, whatever thingy called Wandering Aimfully, and they have a course called Build Without Burnout, which is what I'm part of. And I was communicating with the folks there today about the sign up for my email newsletter, which is on clarkwoods.com.
Which is strong bad email. Oh, no.
No. And I was looking for some advice on how to make it better, and they offered a suggestion that I should specifically mention that it was fiction and fiction short stories, which I went back and forth with them. I was trying to be receptive, but I was also like, nobody who reads short stories would say a fiction short story. That people who read short stories would understand that they're fiction. But
they could be short stories of things that actually happened to you, Chris.
Well, that would be an essay. Or a memoir, like a short. Anyway,
what are you talking about, essay?
At any rate, but they made a really excellent point, which is that, by not being specific, I am assuming that the people who visit the website know what the hell I'm talking about, right? And so then they challenge me to go and look at what the percentage of new people versus people who have been before visiting the website is. And it is 96% new people and 4% returning people on over the last month. So I can't assume that people have heard of my novels.
All right, so now they might know about it. Yeah. They might know about it, baby.
Yeah, they might. So I mean, you
can buy them on Amazon, right?
You can buy them on Amazon.
On the website proper?
You can buy them on the website. You can also now
if you buy them on the website proper, you might actually get a signed copy.
There's a box that says you want Chris to sign it, and you can get it signed.
If you want, like, is there another box to say I also want Steve to sign it?
I should add that. I got to get rid of them though. I got to stock, and I am. I think I might be saying this here first. I've already kind of said it. I'm redesigning the book covers, so I need to unload the stock of existing ones.
These will be the collector's editions that you'll be getting now, and then the new ones will be the ones that are all over the fucking world. And they're already all over the world.
There is one in where is that one?
Thailand.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? There's somebody in a hostel in Thailand reading All He Left Behind now.
Or they might have just used it for kindling.
Yeah, they could have. Not kindling.
Yeah. Well, wait, is that just like the small sticks, or do you use can you use paper for kindling?
You can use paper for kindling. All right. Yeah. As a fire starter.
Twisted fire starter?
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/234. And there will be no show notes about Portland because, once again, we didn't talk about it.
Maybe, okay, so if you're one of the folks that Chris interacted with in Portland, this might be a great conversation starter for us to actually talk about him being there. Send us an email, hot@clarkwoods.com, and we'll get that convo started.
We will. Thank you. Remind me of how we met, and I'll talk all about
how I met somebody in Portland.
How I met your podcaster.
Yeah.